I'd like to touch on something you mentioned earlier, but we haven't dove into it all in any depth, which is meditation.
Yeah.
You mentioned this tea meditation. You had a publication recently on a 10-minute meditation.
Yes.
Right? Maybe you could tell us about this 10-minute meditation, because it seems like such a tractable amount of time.
Right.
And then if you would maybe tell us a little bit about the tea meditation.
Yeah.
But it sounds like you've discovered a close to minimum threshold of meditation that can really benefit us. So, so maybe you could tell us about that study.
So the study was, as you very astutely pointed out, very practical study. Just 10 minutes, not 30 minutes, not an hour meditation. That's too hard. 10 minutes guided meditation. They logged into a site so we can tell that they logged in, and they listened to it's a body scan, very basic but easy to follow kind of meditation. And we asked them to do it. How often? Daily, 7 days a week, just 10 minutes a day. And the most shocking thing about this study is that we got more adherence to the 10-minute daily meditation than the 10-minute daily podcast listening, which was our control. So the highest retention rate I've ever gotten in this kind of study that I've done, exercise or meditation. They wanted to do it 10 minutes a day. It was great.
I'm going to just start leading meditations for 3 hours as opposed to doing 3-hour podcasts.
So we looked at cognitive effects before and after this. It was 8 weeks of daily, it was actually 12-minute meditation, 12 minutes of body scan meditation. And what we found was significant decreases in stress response. So we did the stress test to see how you responded to an unexpected stressful situation. The meditators did much better. Their mood was better, and their cognitive performance was also better. And this was my first little foray into meditation after I had started my personal tea meditation. That really shifted my relationship with meditation, and but it's consistent with many other studies showing the beneficial effects of meditation. But the unique thing was we tried to make it doable, that many people out there could actually follow this typical regimen, and so we're continuing that. In fact, my research in my lab right now is all about those doable, short things that NYU college students will do, not just at the beginning of the semester, but at the end of the semester, when the stress and anxiety levels are now at record-breaking high levels, and they need something to bring that level down so that they could show their professors what their brains can actually do. And so it includes very short meditations, sound meditations, visual meditations, walking, things that any college student, but we're obviously focused on NYU students, will do to, I want to get at graduation rates. I want to get at class performance with these kinds of interventions. But it started with that study that I just described, meditation.
That's great. If you would, and here's where we can highlight this again as some highly educated speculation.
Yeah.
It's coming from you. What do you think is going on during meditation? So a body scan involves a kind of interoceptive awareness, like interoception, of course, being an attention to what's going on the surface of and within the confines of our skin, as opposed to the outside world. Mm-hmm. Drawing our attention to anything inside us or outside us involves forebrain function, prefrontal cortex, presumably, and other things. Typically, eyes are closed. Mm-hmm. Typically, it's relaxing. Yeah. So there are a lot of variables that could be feeding into a number of different effects. Yeah. But as a neuroscientist, what do you think is going on that this period of kind of an self-induced, somewhat unusual state, what do you think is going on in terms of network behavior and networks within the brain that it can have these long-term effects? Because we got to some of the ones relate downstream of exercise. And I think there's so much evidence. I know there's so much evidence that meditation is beneficial.
Yes.
How do you think it's working, or what do you think it's doing?
Yeah, I think that one of the most important things that gets worked when we are doing a simple 10-minute or 12-minute body scan meditation regularly, this 10 minutes a day, 12 minutes a day, is the habit building and the practice of focusing on the present moment. I think that is very hard for us modern humans to do, because I'm worrying about the thing that's due at the end of the week that I need to do, and how many hours am I going to have to be able to do that? Or I'm worried about, whatever, the email that wasn't as polite as it should be that I sent, and what were the repercussions for that? Instead of focusing on this moment, which is fun. I get to talk to you. It's a beautiful day outside. I'm feeling good right at this moment. And I think that all of the meditative practices that I've done, and this one also, whether you know it or not, is getting you to focus on this moment. And I think it's even more important in this day and age, where anxiety levels and the next variant might come out, and what are the repercussions there. And I have a mother who's older and she's more susceptible to it, and there's a war, and what's going to happen there. Those are all future possibilities, and we should be worried about that. That is a possibility. You need to plan for that, but you also need to focus on this moment right now. I'm healthy. I can breathe. I get to have this interesting conversation right in this moment. If I start thinking about other things, then it takes away from this moment. Do I know what circuits are involved? Not exactly. That is not my area. I think there are some studies that have focused on that present moment kind of activity. But that is what I think is most important about the practice of meditation, or one of the important things that calms us down. Because if you know how to do that, that gives you this powerful tool for the rest of your day. You're not locked into that fearful future thinking that so many of us have, or that just reliving of the terrible past, but you could enjoy the present moment.
Yeah, that really resonates. I think that going back to the earlier part of our conversation, the hippocampus has this incredible storage capacity and ability to set context about past, present, and future.
Yeah.
And that's a beautiful thing, because as much as I like to think he had some semblance of a healthy life, none of us want to be HM.
Right.
None of us want to be in the position of not being able to form new memories and have no context to the past or the present.
Yeah.
So we're grateful that we should all be grateful that our hippocampus can draw from past, present, and future in various combinations, and we should support it through the daily exercise and other habits. Let's call them habits so that people make them habits that you've highlighted. But if we are not deliberately anchoring within past, present, and future according to what we need, and we're just shuffling between past, present, and future, that is not a good way to live.
No.
It's not effective.
No.
It sounds like meditation can really help us go to the right stacks. I guess people don't go to libraries anymore, but in the old days, you would go. You need to go to the right location in the library. You actually can't get distracted by the books that you're interested in if you need to go reflexively. If you need to go study a particular topic.
Yes,
so that's kind of how I think about it.
Yeah.
It makes us more linear, perhaps, in our way of being.
I think so, and it actually counteracts, not that I'm against technology, but having our phones and being connected to every good and bad thing going on in the world today is incredibly distracting and takes you away from the present moment virtually 24 hours a day. And so we have to work extra hard right now compared to in the 40s when we didn't have all this technology or at the same level. So it becomes even more important practice, I think, for everyday life.